TLO, what's poppin'? We are on Twitch, not live. You can leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notification bells. Let's continue to grow the family from Chicago to the UK, man. Right behind me, you see it. Warning, not needed, but it's there, man. Don't forget, man, Patreon, Monday through Sunday, Premier League highlights, UK TV shows, UK movies. Twitch.com and YouTube.com. That's where you can catch a live stream, too. Usernames at the bottom of the screen. This is from Alex in Great Britain. The 10 oldest cities in the UK. I thought they was all old. Ain't this the oldest place in the world almost? Hey, it's time to educate me.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. No copyright infringement intended. All rights belong to their respective owners.
So what are the oldest cities in the United Kingdom? Well, there are 10.
I bet you Yorkshire is on there for sure.
That are so old that they predate the record books themselves and are said to have held their city status since time immemorial. Before I dive into the list though, I should explain briefly what constitutes a city in the UK. In short, there are two kinds. Those with an Anglican cathedral, which alone qualifies them by ancient prescriptive right, and those who were granted city status following an application. The latter kind came about during Queen Victoria's reign, where many industrial towns...
You could apply to be a city? I swear, I promise you, I want to buy like a plot of land and just start building on it. And I'm going to apply to be a city. Wherever I am. I'm going to see
cities. But we're here to focus on the former, specifically those whose founding date is unknown, mostly on account of the poor record keeping of the Saxons. For perspective, the oldest UK city with a definitive date is believed to be Durham, founded in AD 995, assuming
AD 995.
The records of the time are accurate. So the 10 oldest cities...
Is this Durham?
In order from north to south, rather than chronological order, as that part is unknown, are as follows. Number 1. Originally a Roman settlement founded in AD 71 under the name Eboracum, the city of York is situated...
Knew it. York, first one. I already knew it. And the people that live in York, they act like that too. They act like they've been around for a long time. They act like they ain't got no laws, nothing apply to them. All I see is this town on police interceptors. So get wicked in York.
Situated at the confluence.
Or am I confusing it? Are York and Yorkshire the same? I don't know.
Of the River Ouse and River Foss, and it became a suitable outpost at which the Romans could suppress.
Ain't this a prison right here that I'm looking at? What is this? I know he's giving me like historical facts, but I'm just, in my own world at the same time.
Ouse and River Foss, and it became a suitable outpost at which the Romans could suppress the local tribe, the Brigantes. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine the Great was declared Roman Emperor in York, and he became the first...
This is cool, man. I ain't gonna lie, this is cool. But the thing about this is they probably had something hanging from here to show their power or something. I be watching too much Game of Thrones. That's my real problem.
Just to allow Christians to worship freely, and by the year 314, Eboracum had its first bishop. In the 7th century, the Saxons came and named it Eoforwic, with the wic suffix suggesting that it was a trading centre. In 601, Pope Gregory sent a mission to convert the British to Christianity. He selected York to be the church's centre in the north. In 735, York became an archbishopric. In AD 866, the Danish Vikings conquered Eoforwic and put their own Scandinavian spin on it, naming it Jorvik, and made it their effective capital in the British Isles. Its iconic cathedral, York Minster...
This is insane. Look at this. Just give me like. This is crazy. Look how this. How long has this building been here? Say it.
Or to give it its official name, the Cathedral and Metropolitan Church of St. Peter in York was consecrated in 1472 on the site of an old Saxon church believed to date from the 7th century, which in turn was on the site of the old Roman Basilica. This is, of course, the seat of the Archbishop of York.
So, 1472. This thing has been like this, and it's crazy. Like, we don't even build stuff like this no more, but these withstand the test of time with so much grace every time.
Number 2. In the 6th century, St. Daniel founded a monastery in a settlement in the area we now refer to as North Wales. This
North Wales, okay.
became known as Bangor, meaning wattled enclosure in Old Welsh. Daniel became the first bishop of Bangor in the Kingdom of Gwynedd. On the site of the original monastery is Bangor Cathedral, which was built in the 12th and 13th centuries. Restorations took place over the centuries following various attacks, including one instance when King John destroyed it during a raid on Gwynedd.
We just watched a video on this, no? No.
Bangor is the oldest city in Wales, or to put it another way, the oldest city in the UK outside of England. Number 3. In the 7th century, St. Chad, Bishop of Mercia, declared this city his bishop's seat. The settlement was Lichfield, and it came...
Lichfield. Oh no. This is
became the focal point of Christianity in the Kingdom of Mercia.
Oh, okay, well. What is this building? This abstract? The square is not even... Is this done by design just to draw attention on this block? Because it stands out crazy.
Following Chad's death in 672, Lichfield became a place of pilgrimage. A Saxon church was built, which became his resting place. In the same spot, the Normans built a new cathedral from the year 1085. The construction of the present cathedral...
Like this, man. This is crazy. Would I be insane to like build a house like this? What if I like built my little house and it looked like this? It'd get too much attention for sure.
began in 1195.
Not this big, obviously.
Featuring the UK's only medieval triple spire.
Oh, so that's why it looks so crazy, because it's a triple 1, 2, 3, huh?
Featuring the UK's only medieval triple spire. Number 4. Very little is known about the Roman history of this city, but the Saxon settlers discovered a fort here and named it Weargorna Sestra, though the meaning of Weargorna is unclear. Nevertheless, the name evolved to Worcester. In the
Worcester.
7th century, the first cathedral at Worcester was built, which became the seat of the Bishop of the Hwickers. Hwicker was a tribal kingdom existing from the 6th to the 8th century, situated around the area equating approximately to parts of Worcestershire, Warwickshire and Gloucestershire of today. Worcester was its capital. With the Viking invasion and subsequent establishment of the Danelaw in the 9th century, Worcester became...
What's this hanging from the building? Are these like flowers or something?
a burh, i.e. a fortified settlement, as part of a move by King Ethelred and his wife Ethelfled to solidify the Kingdom of Mercia against the Danish threat to the east. From the late by the Kingdom of Mercia.
This is the second time I ever seen a Mexican restaurant in the UK. Second time. The first time I seen one was in another video like this, or similar, where it was on a city tour and they had like a booth outside of a city center, and it had this, like, it didn't have this specific restaurant, but it had a Mexican restaurant.
Against the Danish threat to the east. From the late 11th to the 16th century, a second cathedral was built in Worcester in a range of architectural styles from Norman to Perpendicular Gothic. Number 5. In the 7th century, Bishop Putter became the first bishop of this city and is believed to have been responsible for the construction of the first cathedral here. The city is Hereford. The name...
Never even heard of this one. Bro, there's so much to be explored in the UK. It's ridiculous. You wouldn't think it to have all of these little cities all around, but it really does.
Hereford is believed to derive from Old English for army river crossing. It was a frontier settlement which saw various conflicts between the Anglo-Saxons and not only the native Welsh but the Danes as well. In 1079 the Normans began the construction of the current Hereford Cathedral on the site of its Saxon predecessor. Work continued into the 13th century.
What's up with the color choice? I seen two, like all of the bricks are like dark and like ominous. This is supposed to be a place of God, ain't it? Why is it? I mean, not to say that the colors matter, but it's just striking. It's like standing out crazy. I'm trying to think if I ever seen anything like this besides this video, or were they all secretly this dark?
Number 6. Now, here's where things get a bit technical. In the eyes of the law, the City of London, with emphasis on the city, refers to the approximate area the Romans inhabited from the 1st century AD, also called the square mile. This is actually both a city and a ceremonial county in its own right, and an enclave surrounded by the ceremonial county of Greater London. In the 9th century, Alfred
How many people knew that?
the Great is believed to have come across the old Roman fortifications and turned it into a Saxon fortified settlement that could better withstand Viking attacks than the previous base, believed to be around the Covent Garden area,
What's this building?
with 2 street names of today providing clues, as in Old English,
It looks very posh over here.
Strand
Very expensive.
means beach, and Aldwych means old trading centre. Following the establishment of the Archdiocese
They
of
got the White House?
Canterbury, a cathedral was constructed in London
This is a cathedral?
in the 7th century and was dedicated to St Paul.
See, this is the colors I'm used to seeing though.
This has gone through various iterations up to the present structure designed by Christopher Wren in the aftermath of the Great Fire of 1666. Number 7. Before the Romans came, this area was home to a tribe known as the Cantiaci, from which the name of both the city and its county, Kent, derived.
Kent.
The city, of course, being Canterbury.
Canterbury.
After the Claudian invasion of AD 43, the Romans established a military base which they called Duravernum Cantiacora.
This is one of them educational videos, huh?
This became the principal trading centre for the surrounding area. Around AD 270, defensive walls were put in place, which remain in place to this day, albeit with various reworkings. In the 6th century, the Jutes established the Kingdom of Kent, with Canterbury becoming its capital. In AD 597, St Augustine arrived in England on a mission.
Bro understood the assignment. He wanna go make his lady feel nice. He even got a vase.
To convert its inhabitants to Christianity. In doing so, Augustine became the first Archbishop of Canterbury. By the 9th century, it was firmly established as the centre of the English Church. This did, however, mark it out as a target for the Danish.
Are these black and white buildings like this? This got to be a certain style, because is it look slanted or is it just me?
Vikings across multiple generations. In 1011, Canterbury Cathedral was burnt following the capture of Archbishop Alfege. The cathedral was rebuilt and subsequently burnt on 2 more occasions before being built in stone. It was the site of the martyrdom of Thomas Becket in 1170 by the Knights of Henry II, and subsequently became a place of pilgrimage. Number 8. England's smallest city is also among its oldest. Named after the wells in the grounds of the Bishop's Palace and the cathedral, the city of Wells is believed to have originated as a small Roman settlement.
So that was an actual moat? Is this a castle that is out behind? What is this, a moat or a river?
England's smallest city is as a small Roman settlement. In the early 8th century, King Ine of Wessex chose Wells as the site of a minster church. By the early 10th century,
It looked too quiet. It's quiet. They probably ain't got no clubs here or nothing.
Diocese of Wells had been founded by King Edward the Elder. Early 10th century, the Diocese of Wells had been founded by King Edward the Elder. This diocese moved to Bath in the Norman period, but as a compromise, a joint diocese was later set up between the two. But officially,
we just have a leash on the baby? Hold on.
As a compromise,
it's a leash on that kid right there, right here. Look at the other kid looking like, Mom, why does he have a leash on him? Is he part dog? What is
joint diocese was later set up between the two, but officially returned exclusively to Wells in the 13th century, several decades after the construction had begun.
Even this stone is dark, but it's not as like crazy looking as the other one. The other one looked wild.
Begun on Wells Cathedral. Number 9. The first inhabitants of this city are believed to be the Belgae tribe. The Romans arrived here shortly after the Claudian invasion of AD 43 and established their own settlement, which they called Venta Belgarum. The meaning of Venta is uncertain, but believed to be a Brythonic word for market. When the Saxons discovered the abandoned Roman settlement, they named it Venta Casta, meaning Fort of Venta.
What's it called now?
Which evolved into Winchester.
Ah.
In the 7th century, a church was built here.
How did that evolve into Winchester? It doesn't even...
And in AD 676, the Bishop of Wessex moved his seat to Winchester, effectively making it a cathedral. The Normans would later demolish this in the late 11th century and begin to build in its place the present Winchester Cathedral, although work continued until the 16th century. In AD 871, Alfred the Great was crowned King of Wessex and established Winchester as its capital. When England became united as a single kingdom in the 10th century, Winchester remained the capital until the 12th century. Number 10.
Last but not least.
In the 1st century AD, the Romans ventured into an area of the southwestern British Isles, where they founded Isca Dumnoniorum, a name which references the Dumnoni tribe.
Ipswich. It's got to be Ipswich.
Who predated the Romans, and to whom the county Devon is named after. The city was, of course, Exeter, and was situated...
I'm so far off. I ain't never even heard of this one.
At the southwest...
It looks cozy, though. Look like everybody know everybody.
Terminus of the ancient Roman road, known as the Fosse Way. In the 7th century, the Saxons settled in the ruins of the abandoned Roman settlement, which they named Escancester, whose name evolved to Exeter. Having been subject to various Viking attacks, it was fortified in the 10th century by King Athelstan. In the year 1003, disaster struck as the Vikings plundered the city after they were let in through the gates. Although more or less...
They plundered the city and did what else? Y'all know Vikings. They get wicked.
Reduced to rubble, Exeter recovered, and by 1050, Exeter Cathedral was founded. From the early 12th century, it was rebuilt by the Normans. And those are the 10 oldest cities in the United Kingdom, as it pertains to city status. And
not gonna lie, that's very informative. Stuff I did not know about. I didn't know half of these. More than half of these I didn't even know existed. I'm getting knowledgeable, as you can see.